Do you want to overthink some stuff with me? Then this is the perfect video for you. Hi friends, I'm Simone, your favorite neighborhood nerd, and I want to redistribute the nibs that are on these pens. Oh, I already just found another maker pen. Here is all of my maker pens that I currently own. This is not a maker pen. They have increased dramatically from the last time that I shared a video with you. I now have 5 Mayfair pens. They're all right here. I'm going to decommission this one. Then I added this relic pens to my collection. Oopsie. This was a swap. I do not own the Franklin Christoph P20 anymore. I swapped this with my friend Wendy Sue. I received this commission from Hawktown Pens. This is a Swansea in XL. I quickly commissioned this Harvest Bell Bone Crusher 7 Studios Velma. And I added this one is the Ursa Minor from White Bear Pens. Yeah, I went from, oh, I don't really have any maker pens to quite a few in a short span of time. All of these take JoWo compatible nib housings units, but if you know me, then you know that I'm not too keen on regular JoWo number 6 nibs. They're okay, but they don't make my heart beat faster. So my goal is to make my heart beat faster when writing with all of these pens. I already have some sailor nibs, some pilot nibs that I have on these pens, and I want to check out and see if I can optimize that whole thing, because I also purchased a new to me nib. This is a Monarch Nib from Schon Design in fine. It is a fine nib on the right side and a reverse nib on the wrong side, and I want to replace this pen with this nib. Now, I am thinking about, there's various different things that I'm thinking about. And so I want to shuffle stuff around because, let me just blabber on and you can help me think through this. I find that when I'm talking to you on camera, even though most of the time when you see this, I've already made the decision, but talking it out loud helps me think through this. So I brought out these 2 pens as well, because my ultimate goal for this nib is to replace this pen. This pen has a permanent black ink inside. I use this a lot in my journal. I used to use it much more often than I do right now. That might change again, but I love this for sketching and for all the things. Now, I have learned over time that I don't really enjoy screw to post. This pen is a little clunky, and I was like, why do I, if this is the pen that I use all the time or quite a lot, why do I not upgrade that? Because it's basically my everyday carry pen with a nib that I really love. So here comes the Monarch nib. Now, because this is going to be a permanent black ink, what I would love for this pen that houses this nib to be is to seal really well. I don't want to have a lot of evaporation, which basically rules out all of these, which is a little sad, because wouldn't it be the best if I could have this nib on one of the maker pens? I feel like that is the ultimate goal. But because it's new, because I have never had permanent ink in a Monarch nib, I don't really know how it behaves. My first thought is that I'm going to put it on an Esterbrook SD. Now, I have 2 Esterbrook SDs left, and in theory, I would like to sell this one. Yeah, I know, very surprising, but if you're interested in this one, please reach out to me. I'm looking for 150 shipped, including the United States shipping. Outside the US, I don't really like, I'm not capable of doing that right now. But if you're interested in this, I have a medium Esterbrook nib on here. I'm really happy to sell it to you, I think. When I look at it, I'm like, maybe I should keep it, but also, what if not? So I'm debating selling this. I would totally sell it to you if you're interested. But this one has a Techo nib on it that I recently started to love very much. So I want to use this nib somewhere else. Because my thought is, here we go. This has a kind of a slip and seal cap mechanism like the Platinum 3776. I don't think it seals as well, but it seals better than the Maker pens. So because I want to trial and error this, I thought that this would be my safest bet for now to put this fine Monarch nib on an Esterbrook SD. And the first thought was, well, then I'm going to use this. But actually, this is my favorite Esterbrook SD. This is close second. And as I said, I'm really thinking of letting this one go. So what if I can make this work without using this pen? So then I would put this nib into this pen. We're just going to do this and then see where it leads us. So I have the nib in this pen. And then when I'm ready to use it and ink it up, I can do that. I haven't done this yet. I would love to film an unboxing of this-ish, kind of, but I know that this is the pen that I'm going to use it in. Does it even work? Is this the same length? I didn't even check. Yeah, it should. This should work. Okay. Okay. So then I have a Tetra nib that I really like that I would like to put on one of these. So I also have, well, let's put this to the side. This one is a Pilot FA nib from a Pilot Custom 742 that I got for fairly cheap on Amazon. And I purchased it with the idea of putting it onto a Maker pen. I want to put this nib onto this pen. I purchased this pen without a nib because I already knew that this is where this nib is going to end up on. And then after I have made that swap, I'm going to decommission this pen into the playpen territory. So this nib goes here. This stays as it is. This is the White Bear Pens Ursa Minor, and I currently have and I think this will stay married forever, a Pilot Custom 74 medium nib on here. Every time I use this pen, I am in heaven. It makes me want to think about taking a nib from one of my Pilot Custom 823 or 743. But they're so expensive that I feel like that's not gonna, no. If I can, when I save up more money, snag up a Sailor Pro Gear that someone sells for cheap, or maybe even another custom 74 that someone doesn't really. These pens sometimes get sold for quite a cheap amount of money. So if I can snag a cheap Sailor Pro Gear, or I can snag a cheap Custom 74, or even a Custom 743 or 823, I would totally do that and put them on custom pens. This one was a really bad experience. This is a double broad nib. I don't think I'm a double broad person. So this pen, and this is free. This one has a Sailor nib on it. This one has another Monarch. You know what I would like to do? Maybe I would want to put the Monarch nib on here. Yeah, let's do that. This is, unfortunately, this is still inked, I think. Yeah. I'm just going to be brute force here and throw this in here, and then take a tissue, remove this, and the only reason why I find it unfortunate that I'm not going to the San Francisco Pen Show is because this here is a little chip that came off. This is an Enigma stationary blank, and you know what? I want to use this pen more. I haven't really gotten to experience this pen a lot, and I think if I ink, oh, that would be super fun, because look at this now. My Monarchs are both in teal pens. That's fun. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. That's a good idea. So I have, these are saved here, blue and teal. So another thing that happened, so we have this one without a nib right now. This one has a Sailor nib. This one has a Sig Medium. Oh, yes. So, let me think. So this one is a Mayfair Vanier model. I could try and see how this Sig nib works on this pen. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Some of these pens are still inked, unfortunately, because I haven't actually uninked any of my June pens yet. But that doesn't keep me from swapping stuff around, because I can. But this needs to be cleaned out. So I guess when Max wakes up, that's what I'm going to do next. Make sure that all the things that I'm swapping around are actually clean. Okay, so this goes in here. And then this goes in here. And it should, in theory, it just should write right away, because it's still inked. I didn't empty the pen. I just maybe sucked out a little bit of ink. So the problem that I had with this is that the ink evaporated tremendously, a lot. There's my water brush to activate the ink flow. And what happened was then that, now it's green a little. It was super dark, and this used to be one of my biggest pet peeves. Pens where ink evaporated. But I actually think that maybe it's also not just the pen, but also the color that the ink turns to when the ink evaporates. So this got really dark, and it wasn't the same. Not this color. It would be really super dark. Let me see if I can find a writing sample. I don't think so. It would be really, really dark like this. It will almost be very similar to the Winter Umber when I wrote with it. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to be a better experience, but I would like to see how bad it is going to be moving forward. And I'm actually currently looking for permanent homes for these nibs, because even though I love the idea of swapping nibs around, it also keeping track of which nib is where. Like, I need to be a different type of person to be able to manage that well. So this is a regular, what is this? Medium as well. We have a medium. This is a techo. I would like to get this nib onto a pen. Then this one is a scythe nib, which I find to be very similar to the techo. And I really love this pen. I think I will cannot talk. I think I'd like to keep this the way it was. Then I have a Sig extra fine nib on this pen, which is so good. What I've been thinking about, I do also have a Sig broad nib, and I just, when I started filming and thinking about this, I could also get a fine Sig nib. That would be a thing. I can just order that from Franklin Christoph. So maybe I should pull out the Sig broad. I think the Sig broad is almost too broad for me. So maybe the Sig fine would be a thing. Oh my God, I didn't put away most of the things here. The journaler nib is not currently working for me well, I have found. So yeah, that's what happens when you keep them in these things, and it's just too much to ask to take it out and put it into a thing. Then you just throw these nibs. I mean, I could just put them in like that, you know? What do we think about this? That could work. Maybe I should just put these nibs in here like so that I take away the hurdle of putting them away and just, you know. So, I don't know. What do you think? That is definitely, they're prone to be hurt more. So, okay. I really want to, so, okay. This is a precious pen. This currently has the White Bear Extra Fine, which works really well. So I'm going to leave this for now. What do we like better? Silver? Gold? Yeah. So I think I'm going to put the techo nib on here. I can always change it around later. But it would be fun if these combinations, I was like, do I really only have, so this sailor nib on here is actually really good. Maybe I just need more sailor nibs. Do I want to risk the broad Sig nib? Get this out of here. Let me get this out of here. So maybe this would be a good thing to do, is putting, oh yeah, okay, I know what this is. I basically need to go downstairs and ink and clean stuff right now. So maybe it would be a really good idea to try this nib with a different ink. It's not the medium Sig nib, but it would definitely be the Sig nib with this pen and see how it behaves. And then I have this with a golden nib. I actually like how this looks on here. And then put this here. So I think, so this is a Techo nib, Sig nib, Sailor nib, Sig nib, Sailor, what was this one? Monarch? No. Sig. Where's the Monarch nib, Pilot. These two are regular JoWo nibs. This is a fine, and this is an extra fine. And I'm gonna leave these for now. But I could also, you know, if I notice that I love this pen, but I don't love this nib, maybe there's a pen that I don't love as much that I could swap a nib onto right now. You know what I mean? Because this is so lovely. I love this material. Man. I love this too. This one is, I don't know. So I'm debating. What I'm thinking is maybe I want to put the Sailor nib on here, but maybe only after. So the thing is it is June. When you will see this, it's probably July. I haven't really used many of the pens that I have inked from my June currently inked. Some of them have been inked since the end of May or even the middle of May. I'm going away at the end of June, and I'm thinking of, do I just keep carrying this forward? Am I uninking some of the pens? Because this is so exciting that I also would love to use all of these, but maybe that would be a different video for a different time, right? Yeah. We should talk about all the inks and pens that I want to use in July and possibly August. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye. Oh man, I totally forgot. Do you do this? Do you swap around nibs? Do you have specialty nibs? Do you marry nibs and pens? Or are you like Julia? I know Julia from Julia Here is someone who treats pen bodies and nibs as separate entities and marries them only for a currently inked. That is the same way that Candace from Inks and Anchors does it. If I'm not mistaken. If you're in listening to the Gourmet Pens podcast, you would hear that. And that's the information that I gather, is that she does it basically the same way as Julia from Julia Here. As you saw, I'm trying to take a slightly different approach. And I would like to know where you are. Are you somewhere in the middle? Do you not do any of this? Is this like 10 levels above? Maybe we need to slowly get you there then. But yeah, these are all the questions that I have for you, and I would love to read about them in the comments section down below. I will see you again next time. Until then, bye.